Hello, how are you doing? As a side note, no matter what search engine you use, by the way, whether it be Bing or otherwise, if you type in 5G dangerous, as other people have told me on search engines, the top results are always Verizon or some other some other commercial entity that, of course, is heavily developing and heavily investing in 5G. Before making this video, I have to make an important statement, as I do ahead of all videos about 5G, and I've only made, I think, 3 so far, is that 5G only refers to 5th generation. Specifically, 5G itself does not specify any specific danger. In reference to dangerous 5G, we're actually talking about microwave radiation from 24 gigahertz to 100 plus gigahertz, and this is specifically known as high band 5G. So 5th generation doesn't specify a danger whatsoever. That's like, saying cars are dangerous. Well, they are if you drive them while you're drunk and at high speed. So same sort of perfect analogy. One thing that I specifically forgot to mention in my last 5G dangerous video, and it's actually really important, because there are a lot of attributes and aspects to talk about in 5G, and I'm not interested in fear-mongering or any sort of craziness where you stick on a tinfoil hat at all. But specifically, and I was reminded of this because I received 2 recent emails. One of them is from a lady named Tamara, and she lives on the borderline of a city and country, and she has chickens and whatnot, and they put up a 5G tower near her. And she was hearing sounds, and before you roll your eyes, I'll explain it to you, and it's actually hyperlogical. She was actually hearing, she called them quote-unquote metallic-like sounds. She wouldn't hear them all the time, but also too, since they installed the tower, she said that her chickens were acting crazy, and they were laying their eggs all over the place, and she has one other animal, I forget what the hell it was, but it's acting in a neurotic fashion, and she says it's driving her crazy, and that at certain points she could hear the metallic sound. And we're actually talking about electromagnetic radiation, specifically high-band 5G, i.e. specifically microwave radiation. We're actually talking about electromagnetic coaxial circuits. Specifically, it is a form of light. I mean, everything that has transverse electrical magnetic and longitudinal rarefaction and compression pulse perturbation is a type of EMF, EMR, electromagnetic radiation. But the reason why she's actually hearing sound, and this is not someone that's like, assuming crazy stuff, because there are certain instances where sound itself will cause light to manifest. You can actually do countless thousands of Google searches and come upon this. But the inverse is also true, and it's called sympathetic resonance. And what is happening is that the 5G, or the high-band 5G specifically, is not itself causing sound, but it is the direct link in a chain of causation that leads to sound, in which, obviously, the air, which we have nitrogen and oxygen, we have sympathetic resonance. And, of course, it will depend on the density of the air, because cooler air is denser than hot air, obviously so. And she said she would only hear it in the early morning and the late evening, but she didn't think she heard it during the daytime, and that makes perfect sense. As the actual air heats up, it actually expands, and cooler air in the morning and the evening and late at night is denser, and you would hear it then. So what it is actually sympathetic resonance, where the actual nitrogen and oxygen is making a vibration, and it's actually called infrasound. Sometimes people hear this, sometimes they can't. By the way, when our embassy in Cuba was bombarded and people's ears were popping and they're getting nauseously sick, I'm going to make a speculation on this, but the reason why they were hearing an ultrasonic sound, as the embassy workers had reported, is that there were high directional Yagi antennas. And by the way, microwave Yagis, which I've actually built since I'm a ham radio operator, I don't really do it anymore, are actually a small footprint. They're only about the size of a shoebox in length and width. And they're probably cross Yagis, where you actually have a set of Yagis this way and another set of Yagis that are actually welded to one another. They make actually highly directional antennas. I'm speculating on this part, but it actually fits in line with everything that the embassy workers in Cuba were reporting, where they became violently ill and nauseous, and they ended up with permanent hearing damage. The reason why they ended up with permanent hearing damage, but they really weren't hearing anything, and Google this word, it's called infrasound. Okay, infrasound. I don't know if you've ever used an ultrasonic cleaner, but it makes a really metallic. Imagine someone scratching their fingernails across a chalkboard, except much, much more metallic. More subtle, but also extremely nauseating and irritating. One of the dangers associated with high band 5G, and this is not my opinion, this is fact, is the harmonic sympathy of the EMR, the electromagnetic radiation, with the air at specific densities and specific frequencies, wherein which you can literally hear direct chain of causation from the EMR, the high band 5G, and the microwave spectrum of 5G, which is high band 5G, because like I said, 5G itself does not mean anything specifically. I've received 3 emails like this, and they're just not like crazy people that are like, seeing unicorns and leprechauns, sort of, crazy talk. Because if someone doesn't understand electromagnetic radiation, say, well, this person, had a 5G tower put up very close to their house, but all of a sudden they're literally hearing things. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it doesn't make any sense if you don't actually understand frequency and vibration. It's an established scientific fact that certain EMRs will actually induce an ultrasonic sound, depending on air density, depending on the frequency and the harmonic involved. And it is also true, established beyond any shadow of a doubt, that sound, inversely so, as I've already told you, will actually cause light to manifest. Don't believe me, Google search it. I don't care if you believe me, but it's an established scientific fact. It's not like harebrained crazy talk. So when these people are actually hearing things, literally hearing a high-pitched, quote-unquote, metallic screech at a very, very low decibel, and it's actually high, it's just outside of the audible range of human ears. The only reason they can barely hear it is because it is infrasound, okay? Just like an ultra high pitch, because I grew up messing with ultrasonic machines. I have 2 ultrasonic machines. I grew up working in Southland Optical and using variable frequency ultrasonic machines. I know about how irritating it is. And actually, after a day near the ultrasonic machines, literally after a day, you come home and you're like, what? You have this. Imagine if you were to drive all day long in a car with the stereo blasted all the way the hell up, and it's just, like death metal. Imagine listening to 10 hours of death metal and how your ears feel afterwards. That's actually how I felt after a day around these ultrasonic machines, where you really couldn't hear anything, but your ears were still hearing something, but they were outside of the audible range. Anyway, this harmonic resonance, this harmonic sympathy that is occurring with high band 5G is literally a direct chain of causation for audible sound. And I had to relate that since I was reminded recently, even though I've received several emails from Tamara about the 5G tower and why she's hearing things. She said, I know I'm not crazy. She says, why am I hearing things? I know she knows that it's electromagnetic radiation, but why is she hearing stuff? And it wasn't all the time. And it was mostly in the daytime and the night. Well, that's the reason why you can hear things with high band 5G, given a specific air density, given a specific frequency. That's why you can actually have audible vibrations that can be heard by the ear sporadically with electromagnetic radiation. And that's not my opinion, that's not my feeling, that's a fact. And those ultrasonic sounds are, given prolonged exposure, are dangerous. They'll literally drive you crazy. I mean, not like, padded room crazy, that they'll cause you, because this is what Project Bazaar, that's the name of it, called Project Bazaar, discovered in the late 1960s and early 70s. It's a classified project, still mostly classified by the government, is that you can induce these mood states through microwave radiation. And it doesn't have to be direct chain of causation. It actually has to be infrasound. Additionally, so not just the microwave radiation, which is bad enough for you, especially high band 5G between 24 gigahertz and 100 gigahertz. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. It's an important fact of high band 5G danger that I didn't mention in my prior video. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you do, and click the link below. Let me know what you're thinking. And I'm going to get back to my photography. Okay, bye.